Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're cool. Welcome to May. It's a new month. It's a new module and a new month and a new week. So a lot of new, a lot of new things. So this is a English writing composition class. Now, an important part of the writing process is the peer review workshop, and that's a stage where we're able to cull out ideas from others, and it's a space for us as writers to speak with other writers about our writing. So it's a very important part of the writing process. And here's the thing. Many times we get writer's block and we just freak out because we think that we have to come up with a perfect first draft. But I have news for you, my friends. There's no such thing as a perfect first draft. In fact, writing is recursive, and the whole idea for the rough draft, for the first draft, is just to get out your ideas, just vomit out your ideas as crass as it sounds onto the page. So, as you can see, that's all that we have for this week, the rough draft. A little note about the deadlines. So, the deadline to submit your rough draft is this Monday by 11:59 p.m. and I'm asking that you submit at least 2 pages of the essay, okay? Of the essay. So, because ultimately the final draft will be 3.5 full pages minimum, but I want you to have at least 2 pages done here in the rough draft, so that it can be substantial enough for your classmates to help you out and to just have substantial amount of work for them to actually look at. Okay, so you cannot participate in the peer review workshop unless you submit a draft, okay? That's because the Canvas system will not assign you with classmates' drafts unless you submit something, okay? And here's the way it's going to work. So 1 minute after the deadline, which is going to be Tuesday, May 5, 12 a.m., then the Canvas system will automatically assign you with the 3 drafts of your classmates to look at. The way the points will work is 5 points if you submit a draft, and then 5 points each for the if you offer feedback for your classmates. So 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay, so 20 points total, and you have to offer all your feedback by Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So that's what we're doing this week, and I can't credit you for any feedback that you offer after Sunday. So just make sure that you're on it. So let's go to our page so we can look at how the logistics will work here. So here's us, our HyperCat. Okay, cool. We are 3. We're at 3 already. Okay, so I mentioned this. So you're going to see your peer reviews when you do get them. So I have some questions, some things for you to consider as you're looking at one another's drafts. Number 1, please highlight the thesis that, or what you perceive to be the thesis in your classmate's draft. This is because the thesis is the central focus of the entire paper. It's what ties together the whole essay, right? And remember, it's just a claim, and because this is a textual analysis, the thesis needs to be grounded on connotation. So if, for example, I was looking at the Lorax picture book by Dr. Seuss, then I would probably be interested, like let's just say, I would be interested in the connection to real life, how it's exploring this binary of industry and conservationism, and then how that, and then I would say, okay, here's why conserving our environment is such an important thing, and why conserving habitats for animals is so important. Like, I would answer the so what question. Boom, that's my thesis, that's my claim. And then when I would bring in the plot points from the book, it's to demonstrate how this message of conservationism is brought into the to the story. Okay, so that is to say, like, it's not a place for just summary for the sake of it. No. It's a place to have a central claim, a central aspect, a central focus of your cultural artifact, and everything else that you're doing is in order to support that claim. Okay, So make sure that that's there. That's the first step. Highlight your classmate's draft. And does the thesis make it clear what the cultural artifact is? So you don't want to be reading something that just is talking about textual analysis in a general sense, but doesn't make it clear what cultural artifact they will be looking at for the paper, okay? Have they chosen something sufficiently narrow? Okay. So me, I like the Twilight Zone. Like, I would not choose the whole series. I would choose an episode. Say, like, again, if you're doing like a Dr. Seuss book, rather than doing all the Dr. Seuss books, you do one. Same thing. If you're doing if you're choosing music, or you're looking at from a band's work, like rather than looking at all of Rage Against the Machine's work, look at one song. Okay. So narrow your focus. That's very important. And this is very important because, like, I had a student, she was just talking about I Love Lucy in a very general sense, but didn't choose an episode to focalize her attention upon. And that's crucial because that makes the task far more viable. Okay. In my 101 classes, we read a text called What is Academic Writing by Lenny L. Irvin. I think it's L. Lenny Irvin, something like that. But there's one salient quote, and it says this: "A well-tended garden is better than a large one full of weeds." And that's pointing to the fact that you need to focalize your attention on something, okay? Okay. Again, we said that thesis has to be grounded on connotation. So if just a reminder from last week's lecture, a connotation considers indirect suggestions, things like social cultural overtones, connections to real life, and then obviously answers the implications, the so what question. Here's why all this matters, okay? Rather than just saying, okay, here's what the deeper message is. Now also move to say, here's how it connects to real life, and here's why it matters. Are the body paragraphs moving to flesh out and support the project set forth in their thesis? Okay, are the body paragraphs just telling you, okay, let me tell you about the movie The Lion King. There's a lion called Mufasa who has a baby cub called Simba. And then there's an evil uncle called Scar, and Scar takes over the throne. Like, if you're just summary for the sake of it, then there's really no point. Like, there's no purpose for why you're doing that. Remember, you need to have a thesis. So, or are they just summarizing plot points without rhyme or reason? Which comes to the next question. Does your classmate, which is what we're looking for, does your classmate's draft have more analysis than summary? That's how it should be. If not, then help them out. What would you recommend that they do for having more analysis? Like, maybe you're seeing them mention a lot of something. You're like, hey, why don't you flesh this out instead of only summarizing? And remember, use plot points, bring in summary only to support like what it is that your focus is. Like, like I said, like with my Lorax example, if I'm looking at how the environmentalist message that undergirds the whole book, then if I brought in some plot points, then I would demonstrate places within the story that where environmentalism is glorified and hoisted on high, and so that, like, there would be a point for bringing in plot points. And then obviously always answer the so what question, okay? That has to be part of your thesis there. And that's what separates the weaker writing from the stronger writing. And then the conclusion, guys. So because the conclusion is the ultimate takeaway for the reader, it's a place to reaffirm your central project and, again, answer the so what question, okay? Boom, here's my project. Here's why it matters, right? So, like, for example, if you're looking at a music video that has a very important message that can help out our society, then, again, say that, reaffirm that, and tell us why it matters, why it's important. So there's just some examples. There's a lot of aspects that you can look at. That's what the brainstorm was for, okay? So do look at that to help you out. So next, I just want to go over some of the logistics of how this is going to work. So from the last time I checked, it looks like 2 of you have already submitted. I'm looking at this on Saturday. So these students are already ahead of the game, 2 days ahead of the game. So killing the game. All right. So I just want to show you. I just want to show you this. How this works here. Okay, so let's say I was assigned to look at Jessica's draft, okay? So absolutely, you're going to mark it up, you're going to read it, and I just want to show you how this works. So this one is in case you want to maximize it. This one is if you want to leave a like a message. It's literally like a bubble here. So here, this is not going off of what because I haven't read it yet, but let's just pretend to say, hey, this is a good start. Maybe we'll just say, maybe, okay, so that's like for a bubble. And this one's if you want to highlight. Like I said, I have it. Oh, Matisyahu. Hey. Oh, that's a good one. I remember King Without a Crown. That's a good one. Okay. Let's pretend that I want to highlight this. And just go here. Wow. Oops. You might want to consider blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just an example. This is a text box. If you want to add a text box anywhere, I don't know. Here, like, I might say this above the title. I might say, why don't feel free to be creative with your title. Okay, that's a text box. This one is if you want to cross out something, like maybe there's something here that is extraneous. So maybe so you want to cross this out. Anything that you highlight, it'll just cross out. That's what this does. Anytime that you make a change here, a modification, you always have the option to leave a marginal comment. That's what this means here. This is extraneous. How consider blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read this. I'm just going off of. I just want to show you how this works. This is a cool one. It's a paintbrush. Let's see. You want to highlight something, or most important, yeah. So you want to draw a big exclamation mark. And this one, actually, I'm not entirely sure what this does. Let's find out, though. Let's find out together. Oh, so you want to draw a box. Well, that's pretty cool. If you want to draw a box for some reason. Okay, so in terms of offering feedback, number one, you're going to be marking up the draft, and you're doing it here directly on the Canvas system here. Okay, so one is marking up the draft. The second one is just like in real life, you would not mark it up and say, "Here, it was good." No, in real life, face-to-face draft, you would look at the person and have a conversation about your comments, okay? So here I might say, Jessica, this is a good start, blah, 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 and then write my message. Or, you can type out your message. Or here's what I would do, honestly, because it's a lot of fun, too. Here's the paperclip if you want to attach something just in case, just for your knowledge. This is one. This is the cool one. Media comment. It looks like the YouTube icon. Whoa, double me. So number one, if I wanted to, I can leave a video comment. I could be like, boom, start recording. Hey, Jessica, this is a cool blah, 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 and just be talking. Why don't you consider this, that, and the third? Okay, so that's the video one. If you don't want your face to show, you can go here to webcam, go to no video, and start recording. And that's how you can leave an audio comment. So that's what I think that's a lot of fun. Okay, so regardless of whether or not if you type out your comment here or if you leave a video feedback or audio feedback, you have to offer feedback for all three of your assigned classmates and their drafts. So that's it. That's what we're doing this week, and I know that you guys will come up with some cool things. And yeah, other than that, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And so remember, have your draft in by Monday by 11:59 p.m. No, you cannot make a peer review workshop, so you need to get it in. All right, and you can't get a draft. You can't get 3 drafts unless you submit one. So yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Other than that, peace. Have a good week.